I have a couple different options, and I want to start over here. Actually, Mary, I think you work so hard. You need to take a little break first.
Okay.
And take one of my planters, footstools for a test drive.
Oh, cute.
So the base of this is
nice.
a planter, and as you can tell, I've made a little ottoman top here for it. Now this is really customized, but I also want you to do a little extra favor. You need to relax a little extra more. And have a nice cold drink. Do you want to lift the top off here?
Okay, let's see.
Because this can also double as a cooler. And you can see I've got the same water balloons in there that I put in the freezer. Now, if you could fill this with ice as well, and with this planter in particular, it has a plug in the bottom, so it drains really easily afterwards as well.
Okay, so
to keep it really clean. But I like the water balloon idea because then you don't have any water to deal with afterwards.
And then you can chuck a water balloon to somebody.
Right!
Yes.
That's a party that I want to go to. Yes.
I was going to pitch that I do the rest of the show from here, but I'm going to get up and go back over here now. Okay, so that is fantastic. I love that. So that's a planter.
It's a planter, and it was as simple as making the top. And what I love with the cooler use, this basically becomes an insulated top because it's nice and thick, and you can see it's soft and foamy.
Yeah, it's got the foam in it.
And I showed a little behind the scenes of how I created this. A few really simple ingredients, which was a wood biscuit. And some upholstery foam. A wood biscuit.
What is it like? There's so many baking terms today.
Or a wood round. We call it a wood round in DIY world. A little bit of upholstery foam. But this is the secret ingredient, Mary. A painting drop cloth. This one is a poly-backed drop cloth, which has a plasticized backing on there, which means we can use this for upholstery outside because it becomes water resistant.
Oh, nice.
That the water won't seep through into the foam. The canvas, think of this as your blank canvas to do whatever you would like to creatively do, such as paint. And I ended up using a stencil.
You do love a stencil.
I love it. Any opportunity to stencil. So this is the stencil that I picked up online, which I think is really beautiful. And when I was constructing this, it was as simple as stenciling the fabric and then tracing my little wood biscuit onto the foam, and then just upholstering it with my staple gun. And there we can see it all happening there. So this honestly was like an hour's worth of project that this took me to do, to assemble. You see the staple gun, using it to just pull the fabric really nice and taut there. And then I added little stoppers on the underside there. This helps to stop the top from moving around, especially when you're putting your feet up. It really holds it securely in place.
So you want those stoppers like inset kind of on the inside so it doesn't wiggle around.
Exactly. So you're gonna measure around, like I had just done a pencil line of the circumference of the planter, and then just inset them from there, the thickness.
Cute.
So really, really simple. Now, again, this is my little painted stencil. I used exterior paint. Important to do. Exterior paint, but you can take that, again, blank canvas, and if you don't have a stencil, I thought, how cute would it be?
This is so cute. It's like a little mushroom.
It becomes a little toadstool, footstool,
I like this.
A little mushroom footstool. This is just freehanded, again, using some exterior paint. So this is an easy peasy project that, again, because of with the paint, you can customize to your outdoor decor, which I think is really fun and simple.
So cute. I love that. That's a great one. That's definitely doable. Now, next up, you know me, I love my birds. Yes. So we got a little bird bath here.
A little bird bath. Now, I love bird baths in the backyard because A, they attract the birds, but what I don't love is when the water is still.
No, and then it's just a bug magnet.
It attracts the bugs, the mosquitoes. So I want to show you this little gadget that I picked up online. This is a floating solar water fountain. This became the inspiration for my project using the planter because you can easily transform any planter, even if you just filled a planter with water and drop this in, it becomes a really beautiful little water feature slash bird bath. But you can also take it a step further by picking up two planters here. You can see I've got a large one and a smaller one, and I stack them up. Now, the key with this is stability, but also making sure that we have some height here. So I filled the bottom of it with rocks, of the large one first, and then I use, so many of us have leftover planters from when you buy hanging baskets. Put that into the bottom, flipped over, so then you don't need as much dirt in there as well, and as many plants. And then basically I layered that top fountain, the top planter on there, and put in the solar fountain, and now it's this like little sprinkly little piece of goodness in the backyard, which is so sweet.
Like you live at Versailles,
right?
So fancy, so fancy. I love that. Now, okay, let's talk about. I love my herb garden.
Yes,
one of my favorite things. But like, let's talk about this tall herb garden.
So we're using planters for plants.
Yes.
But we're doing something a little different. In the same concept of vertical fountain, we're doing the vertical planter here. I have so many clay pots just kicking around because they're so inexpensive, and especially like if you're picking up herbs at the grocery store, I tend just to grab a few from the dollar store just to have handy. So I did a little bit of an upgrade with this by using chalkboard paint.
Oh, okay.
You just hear me talk a lot about chalk paint, but chalkboard paint. So this was a super fast project to do, just kind of masking off the rim so I didn't have any over painting there onto the pot, and then just painting the rim to add these cute little, like the little names of all of the herbs there. I love it with the chalk because you can just wipe that off as your plants, maybe they don't live that long. And you want to change them out so you don't have any permanent little herb tags there. But you saw really quickly in the tape, but I just want to lift this up and show you that for stability,
this is genius.
Because all of the pots have the hole in the bottom, the clay pots, you run the rod all the way down so that it won't topple over. Now, I will say, I think this is the perfect solution for a balcony, for smaller spaces.
Totally.
Even like in the corner of a kitchen, but just make sure it's covered because I will note with the chalk paint, the chalkboard paint, if it rains, so you're like the little tags are gonna wash away.
But I love the dowel in the middle to keep everything upright.
Yes, really simple, all just simple ingredients that I actually picked up from the dollar store.
Oh, fantastic. We love that. Leigh-Ann, I feel like every single time you come, I feel so inspired and I learn so much. In fact, recently, you showed us a DIY that someone in our studio audience that day loved so much that she wanted to try it at home. Tell us a bit more about it.
Okay, I cannot tell you when Patricia reached out and actually shared that she had taken my advice and did the DIYs in her own home. So she came with the question of how do I update my bathroom without doing a reno? She didn't want to rip out any tiles. She didn't want to invest in replacing countertops. So
she's got like a classic, kind of like maybe a bit on the dated side bathroom.
A little bit, You know what? My biggest thing with this was that there was a lot of contrast happening, a lot of stark black and white and browns happening. So I wanted her to eliminate the contrast with a little more of a subtle color palette altogether. But paint is obviously my medium of choice. So that was where I instructed her to tackle the countertop with paint because yes, you can do that, and the floor tile. To completely transform the space.
Look at that!
And my girl Patricia crushed it on this project. But Mary, look at that floor. I had given her the little asterisk suggestion to stencil because again we know that I love stencils. I had suggested the stencil and she was like, I'm going for it, and it makes me so happy. I was like the proudest mom when she sent me these pictures because all the time people will say to me, you make it look so easy, and I respond and say, I promise you it is easy. Just try it. And Patricia tried and she crushed it.
She nailed it. She did so good. I absolutely love that. It's true. People always say the same to me with cooking, and I was like, neither of us are actors. We're not pretending. It is that easy.
Promise.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing, Patricia. You did such a great job. That is absolutely beautiful. Leigh-Ann, thanks as always for inspiring us. Such a great job.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.